Hey, how y'all doing?
How y'all doing? It's Brunchin with ReGina.
Yeah.
With the side of Jason.
You want to be the sidekick? Then you can.
Well, you said it with Brunchin with ReGina, so I'm just saying. You said that. You said, this is Brunchin with ReGina.
Okay, so I'm going to ignore all that because I think he's a little offended.
I'm not offended at all.
And you wouldn't let me go back and get my jewelry. So I just want to let y'all know I don't have any jewelry on but my little necklace. I got that on.
And we're not asking today.
Anyway, this week we celebrated 30 years.
Yes, and side note, ReGina didn't tell me to put lotion on like we asked her to. Really? Carry on.
You're going to edit that. Next. And if you don't. Okay, this is the June 11th, but our anniversary is June 7th. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about 30 years, 30 things. I don't know what we're talking about, but we're going to talk about our first 30 years. Someone came up with an idea. A friend of ours, their fiance said, why don't y'all do 30 minutes, 30 years? But anyway, today is a very special day, and I'm going to kick it off like this. I want to say happy birthday to my bishop, John C. Green. Happy birthday. I love my bishop. He's been with me almost my entire life for 3 decades, y'all.
Wow.
3 decades. I can actually say that.
And I've known him for at least two decades. Yeah.
So, anyway, I love my bishop. And now back to what we really want to be discussing. Some marriage stuff. Maybe it'll help you. You'll get some laughs. Laughter is good medicine to the heart, so it could help you. So we got married in 1993. Mm-hmm. I met him in 92. Yeah, we was young. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you the story and how Bishop Green came on the scene. So I was 14 and doing everything that I possibly can do. And I'm going to mix some wisdom into it too, as well. But doing everything I could possibly do. I think I was dating 3 guys at the time or something like that. My dad ended up calling him because he was an evangelist at the time. And
who was an evangelist, your dad or?
Bishop. My dad was not an evangelist. He was a minister of music. But sorry, I will clarify because not everybody knows my story. So my dad was a minister of music and also a minister. Is that the same thing? Anyway,
no,
so
not necessarily. So he was a minister of music, so he was over the music ministry at church, but he also was a preacher as well.
Yes. So he called Bishop now, which was an evangelist Green, and he had him talk to me because something happened with a window, my room, and a boy, and my dad was like, that's it. So basically they took me in a van, talked to me, and I remember he's also a prophet, which is just pretty awesome in itself. So he talked to me, he prayed with me, but he told me something that was profound. He said, you're not going to marry anybody here in South Carolina. And I was just like, I'm not, because I'm thinking about getting married probably in 3 years to this guy. And you're going to go far, far away from here. That's what he says. It's going to be very far away from here. Your husband's not here. And I just kind of was like, okay. Less than 2 weeks, you guys, my dad got orders to go to Korea. Command sponsor. Now, back in those days, 92, you didn't get command sponsor. You normally went to Korea by yourself. But he got command sponsor, and he decided to take it because he had a choice. So we went to Korea, and in speeding up, I met Jason at a club. I went to Korea. I don't even know if I had a fake ID, but we got into the NCO club. Was that the NCO club? Mm-hmm. Got into the club. I went with my friends. I was scared because I never had really done anything like that. But I was watching the purses, and he came up like, you want to dance? And then, fast forward, I was like, no, basically. Okay, basically I did say no because I don't know you. Mm-hmm. So, and later on, I saw him, I think that same weekend we went to church on Sunday, and he was singing in the choir, and he had a solo. And I was like, who is that? To one of my friends who went to the club too. And she's like, that's the guy that you pretty much diss. And I was like, that he looked different under this light. So then that
was that heavenly glory.
Well, he could definitely sing. And I was like, who is that? So I introduced myself because I'm not shy. And then that was all history.
It was like a Tevin Campbell song. Last night
That was not what it was. Maybe in my head, I was like, who is that? So anyway, fast forwarding, he proposed to me on Christmas. Well, we got engaged in 92. That same year. I met him in the summer. He didn't even ask my dad's permission. Clue. Ask permission. He was nervous. So we lived on the 13th floor in Hanam Village. They do 13 floors in Korea, and my dad was going to throw him off, but because he was a sergeant, he was a first sergeant. He wanted to.
He wanted to. He was thinking about it, but then he thought about his military career, and he was like, nah.
And then he said, no, I'll just report him. And then he said, no, because my daughter loves him, and she's going to marry her, and then he won't have a job, and then he'll have to support us.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically,
wisdom.
Pretty much. I mean, and it turned out okay. So basically, 93, my dad, Jason had to leave. He got stationed at Fort Huachuca, Arizona. My dad took me to him. I got married to him in a courthouse, looking tore up, didn't even know a thing. If you're going to do the courthouse, at least dress up. If you're going to do something, at least dress up so you can have pictures for later on. But anyway, I was not dressed up because I didn't know any better.
But those are memories, though.
Very harsh memories for my eyes.
Wow.
So anyway, that's year
that was year one.
So I had a baby, Anastasia, my firstborn. He had already had a child. Then we got her, and then there was 2 kids, and then something happened where 7 months later, I got pregnant again. I don't even know how it happened.
I'm not sure what happened, people.
I'm like, what?
Put in the comments, how does this happen?
I'm pregnant again.
Pregnant again.
I think it's the Army. You go away, you come back, I'm pregnant. So he was going TDY. Then I have a son. That was J. Anthony. And then we keep going. And then my dad was actually stationed in Texas. So I would go back and forth to my dad. So, Jason allowed me to do this. I got into Mary Kay, dropped out of nursing school, and, became a director, doing all kinds of nonsense with that. And then let's see, that's 93, 94, 95, 96. I have another child. Okay. So I was pregnant 93, 94, and 96. I had another child that was Antonia. So, backing it up.
Just go ahead and run it all the way down.
Backing it up. My grandmother.
That's what the problem. He was backing it up.
Anyway, he's going to edit. Oh my gosh.
I couldn't resist.
One of the children are calling it.
I couldn't resist.
So anyway, I needed to back it up because my grandmother, the first child I had, she moved from South Carolina. She had never moved in her entire life to come help me take care of the kids. And I thought that was a special moment because my grandmother, I had a special bond with my grandma, even though she was ruthless. Okay, I tell you. So that's another story for another time. And then you keep going. We moved from Arizona. My dad actually got orders to come to Fort Belvoir. So then I was following my dad everywhere.
But we were in Maryland.
So then my dad got us moved to Maryland. This base is no longer there, but this is where Hagerstown, Fort Ritchie, Maryland. And so a lot of things happened there. I got 3 jobs. Jason went to school.
It was Cascade, Maryland. Yeah, Cascade, Maryland.
Yeah, so I had 3 jobs at one time. Jason was in school because we were preparing to get out. So we were trying to work together. But the first 10 years pretty much were very difficult because I wanted my way and I did some really crummy things. Like if I got mad, I took all the money out of the account, dumb stuff that would affect me and then my children and my husband. So the first 10 years, very difficult. And then we had Zion, and then things were we built a house. We were the first in our family to build a house. And then things started getting it was always back and forth shaky because I had never decided that divorce was not an option. So I finally, I think, made the declaration
last year. No, I'm kidding.
Probably. But I think last week I told you, hey, you're about to make me.
No, but you know,
so
to your credit, you haven't said that in a very long time.
I mean, that was my go-to. Okay. And then I was listening to Focus on the Family and Family Life Today, and they said you got to make divorce not an option. But I was still listening and still making it an option. I was not being obedient. Okay. So anyway, but in those days, I really am thankful for Bishop Green, Focus on the Family, Family Life Today, and then I got introduced to Dr. Tony Evans, and that rocked my world. Beth Moore was in there, some sprinkles of the Bible study aspect, but yeah, Tony Evans rocked my world. So, and that was when I really started to say, you know what? I need to change. But now I hadn't seen Bishop Green in ages. And then we come to 2007. I just hyperspeed us. And then I'm going to let my husband take over.
Yeah, so I'm not going to be as detailed, but 2007
I'll butt in, don't worry.
Yeah, 2007 was when we had Anna had cancer, and we also lost Jason Jr. that same year. So a lot of rough stuff happened that year. And so we had the support of Bishop Green and also Pastor Thomas.
He was coming back from Bishop was coming back from Korea.
Yeah.
He heard about it and he came to us.
Yeah. Yeah, so he came to us and was able to kind of minister to us through that dark period, and because it was really dark. I mean, it was taking years to kind of get over it and to kind of get through it, and it's still painful, but it's not anywhere near like how it is when you first get a wound and you first cut wide open.
We were drifting apart. Yeah. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, we had a lot of bad stuff. Yeah, a lot of bad memories in there, but but anyway, we had, like I said, we had good support to help us get through it. So that was 2007, probably through 2010, 11, and I was
and then Bishop. They started a church, Victory by Faith.
Yeah,
and
we started Victory by Faith.
I think 2008.
Was it 8? No.
Maybe 2007. Not sure. He didn't have a church at
maybe like
first.
8 or 9. Yeah, something like that. So 8 or 9. Yeah,
it was a Bible study.
And so we were at Walter Reed until 2011. Then they closed down the old Walter Reed. Then they closed down, and then we moved to Belvoir. I think your dad was retired by that time. Yeah, he had been retired for a while. So we moved to Belvoir, and let's see, that was like 2015. And then, let's see, I was deployed, went to Russia, did all kinds of stuff.
I got pregnant with twins.
Oh, got pregnant, yeah. Well, that was 2007.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we didn't know. We didn't have any kids after that. That was it.
Oh, okay.
Tony was the last one.
Oops.
Yeah.
But, thank God.
I
mean, they all go together. Yeah. So, things started turning around, I think, right after...
Probably right after when I went to
grew me up.
When Fort Campbell. When you decided to go to Campbell with me.
Yeah, that was
like our first big military move since Maryland.
Because I never used to move.
Yeah, since
I would
Maryland.
always stay back with the kids. But God told me to move with my husband, and I had never, ever not had a job.
And I had never, ever not eaten that good in my life.
So
he was cooking every day
because I didn't have anything else to do, and I was walking. But that was my wilderness experience. But it caused me to have a relationship instead of religion, because all this time, even though I had learned a lot of stuff with the cancer, it deepened my relationship. So it was like he was calling me into the deep, and I thought I would drown. Because I didn't have a job. So all these things I had kind of covering up. I really found my identity when I moved. So, because a lot of times we have all these little things just all over the place and we're doing all this stuff. But if you slow down enough and then the mirror gets put up, you won't like what you see. The Holy Spirit will help you through the process of seeing yourself, and then helping you to change. And it prepares you for the next battle or what have you that you have to go through. Each thing gets you stronger for the next thing. If you learn in the season, if you want to keep repeating it, you can.
The lesson, I mean, if you receive the lesson.
I don't like to repeat stuff. So, but so then we're here now, and in that time, we had to sell our house because we were doing nonsense.
That was in 2000.
And that was a sad moment. Some sad moments. We've gotten several cars repossessed because we weren't managing our money properly. And things change when we put a plan
Not to mention
in place.
Lights, gas, water cut off.
Just
all
nonsense.
kinds of stuff happens over the years. Yeah. Some of y'all, like I said, might not know nothing about that, but
inviting family members that probably shouldn't have been living with us because we didn't consult God. So I tell you what, if you want to have 30 good years, you need to have prayer, because you're gonna need God. Otherwise, I don't even know how people are making it without him. I mean, like, it's difficult with him. Without him, I cannot imagine, because
'cause that's
life
hope.
keeps
I mean,
happening. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
And in a support group, and in the meantime, in our last, I would say our last 5 years, about 30 years, we've done small group, and we do we did a couple small group. We've grown tremendously. Finances, he's retired. I got pretty much my dream job that people said I would never get because it would never become open, but God. And kids grown, and we have, I would say, and people say, we have pretty good kids. They could be doing a lot of other stuff. And I'm not saying they're perfect, but they have, none of them are arrested, none of them have a record. So, and thank God for that. So if you need to have some good 30, first of all, not if you need to have a successful marriage and kids that are stable, you need, your foundation has to be God. It has to be. Like, there's no way around it.
What does the Bible, the scriptures say, a 3-cord strand is not easily broken?
Yes. So, I mean, you're gonna need at least 3 people involved.
Yeah.
And 2 of those people need to be you and your husband, not somebody else. Okay. And then 1 is a supernatural. Okay. And then the Bible. You must read the Bible, because everything everything's in there. Yeah. Like, I mean, come on, everything's in there. And 4th, communication is key. Support system, fellowship.
That's 5, 6, 7. I'm just kidding.
Oh, they're all kind of the same thing. Communicate, fellowship. They're all ships. You need some ships in your life. Okay.
Relationship. Yeah. Communication ship. That's not a word.
Conversation ship. Okay. So basically, that's how to have a perfect 30 years. Okay.
Sex ship.
That is important. We talked about that, but if you want to know more about that, you can go back to the very first one where it says "We're back." That'll talk about sex, because that's important. So, and understand, we're always running from the curse and we need to get our dominion back. I don't know what that whistle is.
That's weird.
I thought that was I don't know what it was.
Yeah, it was weird.
But
okay, but it stopped. It must have been the cup.
Okay, so here's to another great 30 years. We're gonna keep going until
the wheels fall off, and even when the wheels fall off, we're gonna ride on them axles. That's right. Yep, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna do like Fast and the Furious, how they just keep coming back with more stuff. I mean, you'd be like,
don't come for Fast and the Furious. I actually like it.
It was good. So it strains credulity, but it's good stuff though. People are like, what? Yeah, it's just
he didn't make that up, but he reads the dictionary, guys. But yes, so and I do want to leave you with one thing. Basically, Bishop Green spoke a word way back, almost 3 decades ago. Find a team, find someone, whoever's in your life, and start speaking life. Speaking things that are not as if they were, so they will come to pass. There's power of life and death in our mouth. If we don't like something, speak something over it. Plant a different seed.
Now, when you say speak something over it, kind of explain that.
For example, when Anna had cancer, she surely had stage 4. I found a scripture and I said, Anna will live and not die, and she will tell what the Lord has done. That stayed on my tongue. I don't care if Anna got down to 80 pounds. Anna will live and not die, and she will tell what the Lord has done. The doctor said, Anna's going to die. Anna will live and not die, and she will tell what the Lord has done. Find a word and put it over your loved one. For example, Patrice, my granddaughter. Okay, you will be a doctor. I'm just speaking life. I see some of the things in her that she likes, and I'm speaking it over her life. Just like he spoke, my husband is far from here. And surely I thought I was just going to go marry, oh boy. And he is like, your husband is not even here.
He's out of this world.
No, he didn't say that.
He's out of this world. He's just somewhere.
Here you go.
In another stratosphere, which I was, literally. I was somewhere else. Another part of the world.
He was in Korea.
I wasn't a part of your world at that time.
and therefore you were a loser until you got into my world.
Ooh. Or the way that I will reframe that as is saying that you were a loser before we get.
I was never a loser, boo. You were the one coming up to the table trying to get me to dance with you. So in all this, the first 5 years are difficult.
Mm-hmm.
When you're getting over the hump.
I would submit the first 10 years were difficult and can be. I mean,
and finances are a big thing.
Yeah.
So even if you're not married yet, talk about these things before you get married.
Please talk, and talk about how you're going to raise your children before you get married.
I forgot to talk about that because I wasn't into some of the stuff that he was trying to do with our children.
Yeah, how you're going to raise your children. Yeah, because I mean, I was military, so there's certain things that we do, and for my military folks out there, you know, and I'm sure a lot of you have figured this out, is you cannot raise your kids and you cannot treat your family like you treat your soldiers or your airmen or your Marines or whatever, because it doesn't work.
And it won't go good for you.
They will shut you down. They will ensure that you will understand that you can't treat them the same way. So it's a totally different world. But yeah, those types of things, how you raise your kids, how you communicate, you know, talk about finances, because ReGina and I'm not sure how you were raised, but I didn't know a lot about how to manage money. And that hurt us the first 10, 15 years of marriage. That hurt us. Mm-hmm. And then we finally got some good wisdom, some good advice, and, you know, actually listen to people who were telling us to do these things when we were younger. We finally did when we were older. And it's like, I wish I had done that 15 years ago.
Yes.
But, you know, you live and learn.
But sometimes you get information and you just don't use it.
Right.
I don't know, be it laziness or whatever. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times, for me, I think I knew certain things, but I didn't implement it because, well, first of all, I had this thing where I didn't like to be told what to do. So budgeting, once I got on board with that, writing everything down, a lot of things changed. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, that was a turning point in our finances.
Yeah. So the thing is I was always a giver, but I was the wrong kind of giver because I would give everything away, and that is just not.
You gotta figure it out. He the one that told me to give. He told me to give the car.
No, I don't. And I don't think I ever said that God told me to do that. No, I felt it and I did it. But the thing is that there's sometimes, I remember the time when God said, listen, I'm the one who have them in the water. Why are you providing a boat for them? And then I was like, I don't know. He's like, you're not me. Then I was like, I got it.
It's like you're not.
So I started asking him, is this because sometimes a good thing, you think this is good. I don't have to ask permission. I don't have to get any advice. Sometimes a good thing is not good. It's just because it's good, it's not right. Mm-hmm. So
that's right.
Anyway,
you know, they say good is the enemy of the best. Good enough is the enemy of the best. It's a good thing, but it's not the best thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, saying that, 30 years down.
30 more or at least 30 more to go.
Well, amen. So thank you. Thank you for listening. I hope this has been entertaining for you.
I hope you got something out of it.
I mean,
that's useful.
Basically, I'm going to reiterate. Plant a seed someplace, especially in our next generation. My goodness, they need a seed, and speak something over them. And remember to communicate, fellowship, conversate.
Is that your converse?
I don't care what it is, okay? Have a conversation with your family members, your spouse especially. And if you're not married yet, conversate before you get married.
Saying that. Irregardless.
And I'll drink.
I'm going to throw a word in irregardless.
And I'll drink to that.
Yo, peace, y'all. Have a good one. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.